Hey everybody, it's Trip. It is the 30th of May, 31st of May 2020. We just finished watching the astronauts climb aboard the International Space Station. I'm trying a new rig for filming here, so we'll see if that works out. The other day I tried filming where I was gonna take the bees from this hive and put them into an 8-frame hive, but then I'm thinking, I've got this 10-frame hive right here, so I'll go ahead and put them in here. And I got the smoke going pretty good, so we'll see what we can do. Hopefully y'all don't get dizzy riding around on my chest like this, and hopefully you can see pretty well. Alright, so a good amount of activity in the upper box, which is nice. More than what we had the other day, which was kind of the reason I held off on doing this. So we will proceed here. I'm gonna hang this little frame rest here, and what I'll do is I'll just start pulling frames. And since most of the brood is down on the bottom, we're gonna try to get much of that centered up in this box over here. Alright, so we can see they've not completely filled out this top box. That's okay, because we're taking them from a situation where they have 10 frames to a situation where they have 10 frames. And then we'll put a little bit on top for them. Now this frame right here is some older comb that they're working on fixing up. Yeah, they're not really slamming it in the upper half here. That's not something they made. There was a lobe that was built on this, and then I had to cut that bottom off in order to put this fishing line across there. Put that there. Now here is, so that one's fully drawn out, and they are starting to put some nectar in there. So I think I will save that one to put a little more central from the brood nest. And then I'm ready to take this top box off because we've emptied it. And then from now on, as we move bees, they will go right on in to the new hive. Get everybody knocked off there. There was one still hanging on the inside of the box, but she'll move. So again, when you're first taking a frame out, you usually want to take one of the outside ones first. 2 reasons: it's least likely to have brood and the queen on it, and most likely to not be super built up. You don't want to kill any bees, but in particular, we do not want to kill the queen. Alright, so there we can see, hopefully I've got that in frame for you. That brown cardboard looking stuff is capped brood. That'll be bees in another week or so, and I see some larvae in some of those cells. Let me look at what the other side looks like. You may not be able to see this. Yeah, more capped brood. More capped brood, that looks good. I don't see the queen, that's alright. Like I said, I don't expect her to be on the outside, although she had to come out here at some point in order to lay those eggs. So there we go. So we'll put in a frame. As we get towards the middle, we'll be more likely to see her. This queen is Queen O'Neill, named by the Hartle boys. Not Hardy Boys, the book I used to read as a kid, but the Hartle boys. Now, that is a frame. All of those little cells is a baby bee just waiting to hatch out. And when they all hatch out, that will be thousands of more bees. And I bet we've got pretty much the same thing here on the other side. This up here has got some larvae in it. Yep, that's all got larvae, so that's all been laid in. So that is just a phenomenal frame of brood. Every beekeeper loves seeing things like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take this empty one here and put it in the middle, because this is a frame that she can get on immediately and lay on. And a lot of times you don't want to split up the brood nest, you know, by taking like 2 frames that are brood nest and putting something between them, because you don't want things to get too cold in the hive. But it is plenty warm out here, so let's keep going here. Like I said, we haven't seen her, but we're not really looking for her. Yep, more larvae in this one. They're not capped, but there's larvae. So despite, you know, we haven't seen the queen, we know she's in here doing her job, or we wouldn't keep getting larvae. So that's why we're moving her into a bigger box. All right. Let's keep going here. The nice thing is I know that I had exactly 10 frames between these 2 boxes, so that'll be exactly what needs to fit. Again, another frame full of larvae. See a lot of pollen in here. You can see honey up around the edges. That's the lighter stuff up around the edges. So, let's see what we got on this side. Yeah, this is more. Let me put my tool down. More capped brood over here on this side. And I don't know if you can see the white in those cells. That's young larvae. I don't see any frames with eggs. It would be a little difficult for me to show you eggs, although I've got the sun behind me. But again, she has really done a great job of laying up all of this with brood, so that as this starts emerging, I know I've been saying it for a couple weeks, this hive will just absolutely explode. Pull this. Yeah, so I can see what's on that last frame. So I'm going to go ahead and move this empty frame over so that it's between, that is, unless I see the queen on this frame. But we'll see what we got. Yeah, more capped brood. She is laying it up like a pro here. I could not be happier with what Queen O'Neill is doing with laying all these eggs. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see if you can see this. Right here is some slightly bigger cells. These will grow up to be drones. They're a little more puffy than the others. Those will be drones. So, all right, so we've made it through here, and we've not seen Queen O'Neill, and like I said, that is okay. I wasn't expecting to see her today. So here is 9 of her frames inside this new box. Let me see about pushing these together. I'm a little concerned right here because they've made that honey a little wide. So I don't want to get bees, stuck between the two frames. All right. Let me just use my tool to wedge all this together so that I can get this 10th frame in here. Go slow. Take this last frame, stick it on the outside. Here in a couple weeks, maybe, when all the rest of these are filled out, I can take these ones that are on the outside and rotate them in a little bit so that they'll draw them out a little better. Now you can see a lot of bees still here on the inside of this box. Some of them have pollen and such. We're going to lift them up. For all we know, she's on that wall, the queen that is. Almost all of these are females. Only the drones are males. Here we go. We'll bang them in. You ready? We'll do some shaking first. Oh, that got most of them. All right, now they're in the air a little bit. So I will set that box out front. And then I don't want to bang all the junk that's on this bottom board. I don't want to bang all it in. So what I'll do is I'm going to bang them off the front as well. All right, so now they're, a little excited. They're all up in the air. But I do intend to put this box on top to make sure that they have plenty of room. And if she wants to move up and starts laying in here, that's fine. In general, a beekeeper would use a box like this just for collecting honey. But if they just start drawing this out and she starts laying in it, that's okay. The bees know what they're doing. Whatever they want to do is fine with me for now. I think I was humbled last summer. Just a reminder that the bees have been doing this way longer than I have. Oh, look at that. I had the camera tipped down. Sorry about that. So now they're moved into this box here, and they will figure that out really quick. I could move them over 6 or 8 inches, but they're basically coming home right now to exactly where they started. So good to go, I think. And that is that operation for the day. I will put a brick on top that says we've got a laying queen. We didn't see her, but we saw all the evidence in the world of her, and so we're pretty darn sure she's in there. So next I'm going to go over to the pink hive all the way on the right there, and that's where Queen Faith is, and see how she's done over the last week. So I will certainly make a video of that for you. Thanks all. Catch you later.